Plaschke, fresh off the road, covering the World Series and set for tonight's Game 3 in Los Angeles. Great stuff, Bill.
Thank you.
Also, Tim Calishaw, Sarah Spain, Jackie McMullen with us. Thank you. J.D. Martinez game time decision is at the break the Dodgers need. Deshaun Watson was last night the breakthrough to prove he's back. And LeBron's triple-double in front of Kobe. Legit question. Do you think LeBron likes playing in front of Kobe, Bill?
I can't imagine that he does, no.
Jackie, do you like when you write a column in front of Bob Ryan?
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive better. Here's Tony Reali.
The Houston Texans are good, or they played well, or they played the Dolphins last night. 5 straight wins for Houston. Deshaun Watson, 5 touchdowns. He said they got their swagger back. DeAndre Hopkins said they're the best offense in the NFL. He said that to start the season. He says he's sticking to it. Sarah Spain, I'm going to start with you. If Watson is going to be like that, how good are these Texans?
Very good. This is a team that had a lot of injuries last year, and we maybe didn't give them enough time to get back into rhythm as guys recovered from that on their timing. So we're seeing who they can be. My only issue now is that they've just lost Will Fuller to an ACL. Last night they lost their 5th cornerback in 7 games. So our injuries once again going to affect a team that is built to win, but maybe can't win as much as they should because they start to get hobbled. I love this team, and I love them more than some other teams that look as good because the quality of their wins to me are a little bit better than some other teams that are piling up wins against bad teams.
You thought last night was a quality win over the Miami Dolphins?
Well, Miami has had some decent wins. Look, there's not that many good teams in the NFL, right? So you're not going to hold up. The only people that really matter is when you're beating the Rams or the Chiefs, say, maybe the Patriots. Yeah. But compared to, say, the Chargers, they have much better wins, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Tim Calishaw, how about you?
You know, when you look at that game and you think about what one of the panelists said yesterday about Miami's lack of a pass rush, actually, he said it's going to cost them the win, and that might have been an overstatement. But their lack of a pass rush was what stood out. This was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL this year, and this was the first game he's ever had 0 sacks. So Watson had time, and it's just absurd to throw 5 touchdowns on just 20 pass attempts. But Sarah's right about Will Fuller. That's this team can't catch a break. They've had trouble being healthy. Anytime they've been good, really. Mm-hmm. And now he's not nearly as important as Hopkins, but he's important, and we'll see what they do going forward.
Bill Plaschke, what did you see from the Texans last night?
Well, I saw more touchdowns than incompletions for Watson. That was unbelievable. But I do think they both touched on it. Will Fuller, that's devastating to me. In 11 games he's played with Watson, he's caught 11 touchdown passes. He's a huge target for them, and you got to wonder if the injury bug is going to hit them again. But if not, I think they're the best team in the South, clearly to me, and the way they're playing, and their offensive line, Tim touched on that, the offensive line was finally together. They've been injured earlier this year. They got the backups in there. They're playing in sync. They finally, if you give Watson that kind of time, I don't know what kind of receivers he needs. He can probably throw to anybody.
How about you?
It was really fun to see Deshaun Watson get that swagger back. You know, the one thing I always wondered about with him was, can he finish the deal? 4 trips to the red zone, 4 touchdowns. That's the kind of stuff you wanted to see for Watson taking the next jump. But Fuller is a devastating blow, as Bill says. But DeAndre Hopkins is a beast. They still have a chance. I just the injuries will kill you. I just think Watson, that swagger, we've only just seen it. We haven't seen anywhere near the ceiling of this quarterback. He can
right,
really,
and usually with an
really
ACL,
good.
it takes a little bit more time than that first
That's
year.
Right.
And I'm going to take issue with something Sarah said. We rushed in judging him in his first week. We weren't the ones rushing. The Texans were the ones rushing. They were rushing him to catch a bus because he's not healthy enough to fly on the team plane. I mean, that's how advanced we were pushing Deshaun Watson as he gets back from injury after injury after injury. One more play from last night. Take a look at this. The DeAndre Hopkins catch. Now, it doesn't count because of offensive pass interference. Does it still qualify as the catch of the year to you, Tim Calishaw? I hear you grunting over there.
Well, no, because it didn't count, but it's just a shame because the cornerback grabs his arm and Hopkins tries to push him away. This officiating crew, which had a very rough night, missed a call that would have been one of the great catches of the year, but now it's not.
Plaschke?
No, it's not, because part of the catch was the PI. Nope, not a catch.
Yeah, sure.
Jackie?
You know what? I know it doesn't count, but we're all watching it. It went between his legs, and he caught it. I'd like to see anybody else do that. Never mind on this panel, but in the NFL. I love it.
Yeah, it's very OBJ, right? Dye your hair blonde and start pulling in the endorsements for something like that.
No, I think the Texans are just fine with DeAndre Hopkins being DeAndre Hopkins. They don't need him. Right. They don't need him on a boat. They don't need him doing anything with a kicking net. They'll be happy.
Sadly, not a catch, so instead just a great feat of athleticism.
We've been horned. We'll move on. Let's talk basketball. 4 first-rounders offered for Jimmy Butler. 4! That's the reporting. That's it. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed situation we have going on right now. Is Houston crazy for offering this deal, Jackie Mack? And would Minnesota be crazy to pass it up?
Hey, this is Daryl Morey's house. All in, all the time. That's the way he rolls. That's the way he's always rolled. I think we got to be careful about getting too wild about the 4 first-round picks because at the very moment, the immediate first-round picks will be late first-round picks. And the players that we hear will be thrown in there also are Brandon Knight and Marquise Chris. If I'm the Timberwolves, hey, I'm in control here. I get to do what they want. I'm holding out. I don't want those guys. Give me Eric Gordon or give me P.J. Tucker. Sweeten the pot if you really want me to give you this player who's one of the best two-way players in the game.
And do you think Houston could do that? Do you think Houston's ever going to give up Eric Gordon here?
No, I don't. But I'm just saying, if I'm the Timberwolves, that's what I'm going to ask for.
So you're hitting pause on the idea that 4 first-rounders is a big deal because those picks would be in the mid-20s, and it's not the equivalent of what Brooklyn did recently, right, with the 3 going to Boston.
Very different. Very different.
Sarah Spain, how about you?
Wow, I did not expect anyone to say this was not a good enough deal for Jimmy Butler. Here's why. Because these can't be in sequence, these picks are 2019, 2021, 2023, 2025. We don't know where the Rockets are going to be then. So to say that we know they're going to be low first round is an estimate about what we think that team's going to do several years down the road. The issue is their window is right now with James Harden, with Chris Paul, and we've heard Daryl Morey say we're all about just beating the Warriors. They're not beating the Warriors with how they look right now. They do need to add someone like Jimmy Butler, and offensively it may not be the perfect fit, but defensively, this is the guy who is guarding the best shooters on the other team all the time. You bring him in and you capitalize on what you already have. Basically, Morey's betting on himself. I trust in me and my coach that even if we get into a rebuild, we can get guys in free agency that other teams can only get through the draft. I think it's a good move for both sides.
TC, how about you?
Yeah, my first inclination would be to say, like Jackie, try to get better players in the deal. But realistically, Butler wants to be traded. He's going to be free at the end of this year. And, you know, if you can get 4 ones even spread out like that, and if you can reduce or get rid of the lottery protection on the later picks. Now, if you're the coach or the GM, you don't want to do it because you're not going to be around to see those players. But if you're the owner of the Timberwolves, you're going to be inclined to say, this is the best we're going to get for him. Let's make a play for it.
All right, if you're the coach or GM, maybe not inclined. If you're the owner, maybe inclined. How about if you're Karl Anthony Towns and they tell you, you could have a first-round pick in 7 years from now. We'll add a first. Right, exactly. I mean, at some point, you're wondering what team the Timberwolves will be in 2025. Plashke, how about you?
Yeah, Tim, you should have trusted your first inclination on this. Jackie's right. This is not a great deal. And I think Minnesota, there's no way that they could take this kind of deal, giving up this player. They'll get more for him the longer they wait, when teams get more desperate. Houston's got to throw in a play. They got to throw in Eric Gordon, and they'll never do that. And again, because how do you sell your fans? How do you sell your current team? And the GM and coach aren't going to go for it either. So
should Houston get him, though? Fill in the blank. Houston is what with Jimmy Butler? Plashke.
Oh, I think they are championship contenders with him, but I don't think they'll get him.
Kalisha?
Number 2 in the West with maybe a better chance this year against the Warriors than last year.
This is what they were last year. Spain, what are they with Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, number 2 in the West because I
still number 2 and Jackie Mack?
Immeasurably better defensively, but they're going to have a few more.
All right, so none of you think it gives them the jump to get over the Warriors. All right. Real quick. Questionable for tonight, Jimmy Butler. Stomach. Coincidence? Who knows? We all have stomachs. We'll move on. World Series Game 3.
Yeah,
11 teams have come back from 0-2 to win it. Most recently, though, 1996. Yankees. Dodgers bats have been chowder. Their strategy not worth beans, or so I read.
Send it to the Postal Committee.
J.D. Martinez, a game-time decision as we're rolling his ankle Wednesday. Bill, is this the break the Dodgers need?
No, the break the Dodgers need is that they'll finally have their first string out there in this game. Is that the Red Sox throwing a right-handed pitcher. That means they'll get Max Muncy into the game. That means they'll get Cody Bellinger into the game. That means they'll finally play their top 3 home run hitters in the game. That's the break they need. This analytics thing went crazy in the last 2 games. I'm sure you guys discussed this. But now they'll have their best lineup on the field and their best pitcher in the last 3 months on the field. Walker Buehler, he's got a 1.93 ERA at home, and only one of the Red Sox has ever seen him before. So that's the breaks they needed, and they will win tonight because of those breaks.
Bill, do you think Dave Roberts erred in not throwing the lefty bats out there just because of a matchup?
Well, the question is who erred. Somebody erred. We're never quite sure if it's the front office or if it's Dave or if it's the commingling out here. They're very secretive about that. Nobody really knows exactly how that's made, but somebody sure messed up.
So that's how Los Angeles sees it, and he's predicting an L.A. win. Now let's go to Boston. Jackie Mack, how do you see it?
Well, I think Bill's right. I do think it's a big deal to get some of those bats back in the lineup. I agree with that. But I will tell you this, that in their last 14 NL starts with Porcello on the mound, the Red Sox haven't lost a game. So the big thing for the Red Sox is to Porcello to give them the kind of innings that the other starters have because their bullpen has really been great. Now, I don't know about Martinez with a bum ankle in the outfield. That, if I were a Red Sox fan, would make me a little concerned. But we'll see what Cora does. I think he wants J.D. Martinez's bat in that lineup.
Mm-hmm. Sarah Spain?
Yeah, the potential liability in the field to me doesn't make up for what he can still probably offer offensively, and I think he will be in there. As Jackie pointed out, it's absolutely a bonus to have their top 3 or 4 home run hitters in the lineup, but if Porcello is dealing, it doesn't really matter. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be effective against him. Also worth noting, the Red Sox are undefeated on the road this postseason, so going home doesn't necessarily mean for sure that's an advantage for the Dodgers.
TC.
The Texas precincts would just like to see Ian Kinsler and Mitch Moreland beat a team with David Freese, for what that's worth. But beyond that, let me just say, Plaschke got all of them right. The left-handed lineup gets to play. 70-degree weather is in play tonight. They got their best pitcher right now, best starting pitcher at the moment, not saying Kershaw for his career, is on the mound tonight. So that should be enough without J.D. Martinez.
Fill in the blank, Jackie. For the Dodgers to win, make this a series now. Tonight, they must do blank.
Chase Porcello early.
Sarah Spain?
Score first. Red Sox are 9-0 when they score
Hit
first.
home runs.
And Bill, you said it's happening, but for it to happen, what needs?
Get 6 good innings out of Walker Buehler.
Mm-hmm. 6 good innings. That's 2/3 of the game. We're at
That's it.
1/3 of the show right now. We got 1/3 of good innings from Plaschke. Look at that score, 23. We're taking a break. Buy or sell on the other side.
If you're a smoker, you know switching isn't easy. You've tried vapes and e-cigs. They just didn't deliver the satisfaction you expected. But Juul is different. It's not an e-cigarette. It's a vapor product that actually satisfies. Plus, Juul is simple to use, and there's no cigarette ash and no lingering odor. As a smoker, you expect a certain nicotine experience, right? Juul delivers. Give Juul a try. Check out JUUL.com/sports. Switch and be satisfied. Yes, you can do both. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Buy or sell.
Celtics 101, Thunder 95. This was a bizarre game. OKC up 16 at the half and had held Boston to 34, which is a number nobody's posting in the NBA in 2018. But then Boston had their run in the third. Thunder were still up 9 with 4.5 to play, only then to have a lid on the basket and lose. No concern, Westbrook says, about OKC's 0-4 start. Bill, buy or sell Westbrook saying no concern?
I'm selling this. They're the worst offense in the NBA in every measurable category. I got to say it. They missed Carmelo Anthony. I can't believe I'm saying this, but they need a spot-up shooter. They need a shooter. They don't have one. They're in trouble.
Okay, and Melo was the spot-up shooter. Okay, TC, how about you?
I'm going to sell no concern. I'm going to sell Plaschke's answer. I will say this. They were in that big collection of teams last year with 46 to 48 wins, which was like the 3rd seed down to 9, and Denver was 9. And so you can be in that mix and miss the playoffs. Right now, though, Russell Westbrook's 1 for 11 on threes. He'll get better. He shoots too many of them, but he's not going to shoot 9% all year.
Sarah?
Yeah, I'm actually buying what Russell Westbrook said. I do think that I would be worried about his fourth quarter, 0 for 7 with 3 turnovers. But there's so much that rhythm takes place here. And this is a guy who missed the first 2 games to injury and is coming off of surgery. There's plenty of time for his mid-range jumper to come back and for this team to find itself. I'm not worried 4 games in.
Sarah remembers the rascally Russell Westbrook and the wily Riley.
That's right.
Russell Wilson. McMullen, how about you?
All right, so Bill, OKC is shooting 39% from the floor. So you're right. They should have had Carmelo here, who shot 40% for the floor.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm sorry I brought it up. I'm sorry I brought it up.
You can never win with Carmelo. I learned that last week, okay?
Yes.
So I think there is some concern about their offense. They need Alex Abrites to step up and take more threes and hit more threes. And they're middle of the road right now defensively, too. They got some work to do.
Lakers 121, Nuggets 114. LA was down 8 halfway through the fourth, and then they had their comeback. LeBron triple-double with Kobe courtside. LeBron said he absolutely noticed him, but didn't get to talk to him during win number 2 for Los Angeles. Tim, what are you buying? What are you selling from last night?
I'm buying LeBron embracing Make 'em Dance Lance on TV after the fourth quarter. And what Stevenson did when it looked like Denver was going to take control. I'm buying a new Alonzo Ball looking terrific and soon to take that job back from Rondo.
Sarah Spain?
Yeah, I'm buying 6 Lakers in double digits, and I think it was 7 in their last win. So this is a team that's helping support LeBron James, something we didn't see a lot of back in Cleveland. But I do think that this is a flawed team defensively and three-point wise. This doesn't mean that they're automatically top 5 in the West or anything else that crazy people are saying. Just means they're taking steps forward.
Jackie?
They are taking good steps forward on the defensive end. They were the worst team in the league, giving up 131 points before they won these last 2 games. In the game the other night, with 6 minutes to go when it mattered, 7 out of 10 contested shots against the Denver Nuggets down the stretch. If they contest, if they play defense, they're going to be a very interesting team.
Bill Plaschke.
Sarah, this does mean they're a top 5 team in the West. I am that crazy person saying that. I thought last night the empowerment LeBron showed these kids, it showed what can be, what can happen. Now, I'm not so sure LeBron loved playing in front of Kobe, but I love what a huge power move by Kobe, saying, hey, guess what? Big night, big first home win. This is still my house.
So wait, you're not sure that LeBron loved playing it? Because there were Kobe chants in the arena last night, and then they were drowned out when LeBron hit a 3.
Yeah, not.
So, Jackie, you said when you were on press row and Bob Ryan was on press row, it made you sit up a little bit straighter. Did you like it? Did you like it when Bob would walk by your computer and be like, oh, what are you writing today?
Yeah, I'm telling you, one time in the World Series in the 3rd inning, the Red Sox are going to break the curse, and he says, how's your column gun? Mine's all done. I'm like, oh, man, this is depressing.
We'll move on. Buy or sell 3. Good story, Jackie. It's been 286 days since the miracle, and it is still awesome. It's still awesome from every single angle. Saints at Vikings Sunday night. Sarah, who's the better team right now?
To me, it's the Saints, and they're both quite good, but I trust the Saints on a week-to-week basis more than the Vikings. The only real quality win that I see on the Vikings schedule was against the Eagles. The rest have been not good teams, so I trust the Saints a lot more.
Jackie Mack?
Love the Saints, love Drew Brees, and their defense is better. But you know what? The Vikings are 14-3 at home against the Saints, and this game is in Minnesota. I'm going to go with the numbers.
Bill Plaschke?
Yeah, I think the Vikings are a better team. I saw them against the Rams. They're the only team that's really exchanged Rams, held the Rams blow to blow, fought them almost on an even field. I think the Vikings, and they won 3 in a row. Their defense is coming back. The Vikings.
Tim Kalishaw.
Saints, a slightly better team, but not enough to make a difference on the road. The Saints are kind of desperate. They just traded for Eli Apple. I don't think anybody they have can guard Adam Thielen, though.
All right, let's go buy or sell 4 while we're here. Packers-Rams Sunday afternoon, the 1-6 seed in the NFC. This game is a 9.5 line. Aaron Rodgers, a 9.5-point underdog, biggest of his career. How do you think Rodgers deals with that? Tim Kalishaw, you want to start us off?
I don't know how he feels, but the Packers have no chance because their secondary is going to get obliterated by the Rams.
No chance.
So he's just going to do
this is a double-digit win for L.A. for you. How about you, Bill?
Oh yeah, it's a double-digit win, but I think the Rams are saying, don't show Rodgers those odds.
Yeah.
I think he loves it. He loves being the underdog. He loves the chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, you know what Rodgers says? Hey, Devontae Adams, look at me. I'm coming to you all day, every day. Let's blow this thing up.
Look at me. I'm the captain now. I am the captain.
Right here.
Sarah Spade.
Yeah, listen, I think Aaron Rodgers is angry about it and wants to go out and win, but just because that's the case doesn't mean they win. The last time they were an 8-point underdog, they lost just as expected, and I think they're going to lose this one.
Last time they were an 8-point underdog, I think, was the playoff game in Seattle a few years ago. Okay, weekend starts right now for Sarah Spain and Jackie Mack, but they're not going to be upset about those points. Plaschke, Kalishaw, showdown next.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology Truths.
Truth.
Teenagers can communicate entirely in emojis.
How was the birthday party? Pizza slice, kitten, soccer ball, pineapple?
Truth. It's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at Geico.com.
What are you talking about? Paperclip, shoulder shrug, high five, wizard hat? What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Bill Plaschke, Tim Kalishaw, good luck in showdown. Damian Lillard's weak, all right? He entered like stone cold. I love this. Head shimmy. Yes. And he exits with a stunner.
They had a guy, behind their bench that just kept running his mouth. He just kept running his mouth. And I told him, I said, you're going to get them in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for this. And he kept on talking. And in the second half, I ain't hear a word from him. So, that's that.
Bill, do you think Dame is encouraging or discouraging future hecklers?
He's encouraging, unbelievable. So that's all it takes. So now I think the Trailblazers ought to get their own fans to put on the other team's jerseys, the other team's sweatshirts, and go heckle, take one for the team, heckle them themselves. If that's what it takes, just get behind them and do it themselves.
You could say it didn't work, but other fans are going to think, well, our team's better than Orlando. It'll work because we got better players out there. Anytime you embolden people and let them know they're in your head, it's causing trouble.
Beginning to think Bill Plaschke's in Tim Kalishaw's head. There could be trouble. Showdown 2, Warriors at Knicks tonight. To get to MSG, Durant will pass by a billboard that a Knicks fan put up to recruit him next summer. Said Durant when asked about the billboard, I'm not really impressed with that type of stuff. Well, Tim, what could impress him enough to join the Knicks?
That's an impossible question. He left a really good situation for the greatest situation of all time. And now you want him to leave before they go to this new palace in San Francisco to go play on, I don't want to say a dump on 8th Avenue, but that's what you're asking me to do.
No, there's nothing that can inspire him to play for the Knicks. Maybe if the Lakers cease to exist, because he's going to be playing on the Lakers next year. Here we go. Is that going to cost me? Is that going to cost me this showdown? I don't care. I'll take one for the team.
So promising for you all.
I'll take one for the team.
Tim Kalishaw, FaceTime.
We should all be Mookie Betts, and by that I don't mean we should all hit like Mookie, the best hitter in the American League or the best right fielder in the league. He just made the Gold Glove finals. But 3 hours after the Game 2 the other night, how did he celebrate the win? He was out feeding the homeless outside the Boston Public Library. He and another man bringing all kinds of trays of food. There's not a lot of video of this. It wasn't something he did to celebrate himself. It was to help others, something we should all try to do a little more of. Maybe this weekend.
Well said, Tim Kalishaw.
Very cool,
Incredibly done.
Well said.
That's his second win since losing his appendix. He's unbeatable without an appendix, Tim Kalishaw. We're on a 71.5-hour break. We'll see you Monday.